Hi, it's Vanessa filming for Carolyn's Musings on YouTube and Etsy and One Way Journals on Facebook. So what we've got for you today is the neutral cookbook, but it could be called the neutral recipe journal. I'm not sure, but I will definitely add it to the screen as I'm talking, but I'll also add the link to the video. So let's have a quick look through. It's got these fantastic sections in it. Carolyn has done an awesome job with this journal and with this digital kit, and so it's got 7 sections. So sauces and dips, appetizers, beverages, bread, rolls, etc., breakfast and brunch, vegetable sides, which include soups, desserts, candies, biscuits, etc., and main dishes. So this is for my son Joshua, and I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. So let's click over to the next section with what the digitals look like. I had printed these on 160 GSM, so definitely thicker than your normal paper stock and not quite as thick as cardstock, so somewhere in between. And the reason I've done that is because I wanted it to be, the pages to be a little bit firmer, because they're going to be in regular use with it being a cookbook, a recipe journal. That's fabulous. Haven't printed on the back of that one yet. And then Carolyn has done a fantastic job of labeling each section, and then she has labeled a separate backing piece for that section. So this first one is appetizers and beverages. So you will see that there are either 3 or 4 pages per section, and then it's got a different backing paper on the back of each one. So there we go. This one says, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. John 7:37-38. Love that. And so then we have this page, which is fabulous. That looks like a salsa. Does it say salsa? It does. And so the same backing paper. And then this one, which I can print lots of times for him, or he can come back to me and say, hey mum, can you print me a couple more of these? And then the next section here is breads and rolls. So there we go. This one says, but he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Matthew 4:4. How fabulous is that? That backing paper, so it's more of a blue. And then this one that says cheese biscuits. And then here, this one we can print lots of times with that on the back. And then there's another one like this as well. Okay, the next section is breakfast and brunch. So on the front here it says, every morning is a new day full of possibilities. That's fabulous. And here it says, rise up and pray, Luke 22:46. So that's the backing paper for this section. And that one that we can print a few times over. And this one, so that looks like honey on some bread, could be maple syrup, toast. Okay, the next section is desserts, cookies and candies. And so in Australia we call them lollies, and cookies we call them biscuits. So on the front here it says, how sweet are thy words unto my taste, ye sweeter than honey to my mouth. Psalm 119:103. I love the scripture that is added into this kit. There we go. And this one that we can print a few times over, as well as this one. Oh, I don't know, but that looks like Reese's peanut butter cups in the background. I've had those. When we lived in Japan, there were some American missionaries, and that was the first time I tasted a Reese's peanut butter cup about 30 years ago. So there we go, and that's the one on the back. Okay, so this is the next section, main dishes. Count the memories, not the calories. That's great. And here it says, and Jesus said unto them, come ye after me, and I will make you to become fishers of men. Mark 1:17, and that's the backing paper for that one. Kitchen, the heart of the home. There we go. This one, there is always something to be thankful for. That is so true. And then this one, which we can reprint over and over again for him to write his own recipes. He's come to me and said he's found a great Korean beef recipe that he wants to write out and put in this journal when I make it. And then this one section is sauces and dips. So it says, oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him. Psalm 34:8. and so with the yellow backing on this one. Here we go. This says, bless the food before us, the family beside us, and the love between us. I love that in recipe journals. And of course this one we can print over and over again. Okay, this section is soups and salads. And the Lord said, if ye had faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye might say unto this sycamore tree, be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted in the sea, and it should obey you. Luke 17:6. And that's the backing for that one. Taco soup. Wow, that sounds different. We're going to have to give that one a go. There we go, and that on the back. And then here, kitchen, the best of times are always found when friends and family gather around. Fabulous. There we go, olive oils. And then of course this one that we can print over and over again for him. And so now we've come to the ephemera. And so I have printed these. Did I do that on 160? Yeah, it feels like it's 160. I wasn't sure if I did 200 on this one. Okay, so the ephemera, so pocket tags, fabulous, hangry, a state of anger caused by lack of food. We actually say that about my husband sometimes. He's such a darling. And backing paper. So that's a recipe backing paper on that one. And so a pocket and some note cards. That actually might be good for some measurements and just sort of extra notes that he might need to know with cooking. And then we've got a whole bunch of pockets there, so they're great. Another big pocket with notes, note cards, so they are all on the back. And that big pocket with notes, so each section looks like it's got one of those. And then some more big tags here and some more of these title pages if we need to put those in. So maybe if you needed, if it's really big and you want to put tabs or a second signature per section, not sure yet. And then this one, fabulous, with some tags, and so love this with herbs, basil and cilantro, which we call coriander here, rosemary, and then we've got turmeric there, so they're great. And then here, how cute is this? Gingerbread man, a whisk, and so a jar here, spice to give zest or interest by adding something, and then some great little label tags things there. And then this one, fantastic. This is going to be able to be folded that way, and then we'll sew that into a signature, and so that will give it a bit of different size going into the journal. And then there's another one here like this, so that one would go that way and then folded in half, so that's fabulous. And then we have some tabs in here, and how great are these little labels that can be glued onto the whale tail tabs, and of course some little fussy cuts and things in there. And then this last page is some bigger labels and things that you might want to use in the journal as well. Okay, so I'm going to cut these all out, ink, and then come back to you to how it's going to look with the journal once, the cover once I've designed it. I'm probably going to go with a gingham cover. All right, I'll come back to you soon. The first thing I'm going to work on is my cover, and I've cut 2 pieces of chipboard and they measure 8 6/8 of an inch by 6 inches. So I'll just show you the signature here. Now that looks like it's, I normally don't make it 6 inches wide. However, the reason I've done that is I'll just pull out one of the whale tails for a tab that I've cut out, and if you see, if we put that up against the spine, the edge, and then put in the whale tail there, it comes up to actually 5 7/8. So obviously I want to allow just a little bit of extra room there, so that's why it's 6 inches wide. And then when I measured it up the top, I just sort of wanted to make it even with a little bit down the bottom and a little bit up the top. Okay, so that's the measurement there if you want to take a screenshot, but you might want to, when I did the spine, here we go here, I I want to have 4 signatures here, and I'll explain that in a little minute why there's going to be 4. And so I did initially cut it at 2 inches wide, but then when I put in 4 lines to put in my 4 eyelets there, I measured them so that it's 3/8 of an inch. So 3/8 of an inch, then another 3/8 and another 3/8 and another 3/8, and then to the end another 3/8. And so that actually calculates out to 1 7/8 of an inch. So to make that even all the way along at 3/8 of an inch marked along, that would bring it to 1 7/8. So I just cut off 1/8 of my 2-inch spine. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now, when I went to then put this in here, you obviously want your elastic to be slightly above your signature. You don't want it to be underneath, and you don't want it to rip your papers. So I realized then, so when I put them in here, they're actually here, I'll show you, they're 2/8 of an inch from the top is where I punch the holes. Now, it hasn't given me a lot of room from the top and the bottom, so this is what I'm going to mention to you now. You might want to make your pieces 9 inches high, which will give you a little bit more wriggle room. So that's okay. This is going to work for this journal, but maybe I just thought it would be too much at 9 inches, but then allowing for this, when you're sewing in a signature, would be perfect. But because we're doing elastic and these eyelets are going to sit above it, maybe a little bit taller might be better. So that's an option that you might want to go for. Okay, now what I'm going to use to bind these together, I didn't have any fabric that I liked that I thought was going to match. So I also thought this is for my son, and it needs to have good wear and tear in the kitchen. And so I have made a journal before with cloth tape. And so this one here is in his hands, and it's called a lap book. So there is a tutorial on this if you want to look that up. And as you can see here, I've actually wrapped all the edges here with a white, sort of like a creamy white cloth tape, and so that's what's going to give it really, it's going to firm up the cover and it's going to protect the corners. Now I do have black cloth tape. Is that the, yeah, I think that one is what, yeah, that one. I have no idea why I have yellow in cloth tape. And then today I went out to get this silver because I wanted a grey cloth tape. So I got this today, and I actually was able to get this colour from an automobile car shop. It's I don't know if it was called Repco or what it was called here in Australia, but I went to go get that today. But you can get cloth tape normally in your black and your white in your dollar stores, your discount stores, that sort of thing. And I know at the motor vehicle place today they had different colors. So they had green, they had red, and they had blue, etc. So I haven't opened this, so I'll just peel off a little bit and just show you that it's really quite sturdy tape. So if I bring that up, you might be able to just see. So that's what I'm going to tape up my corners because, just one sec. So normally to protect corners on journals, whoops, I just threw one then, you can do these little book corners which look great. You can glue and then crimp them onto your corners, and they look fabulous with a journal. But this one for Joshua, it's going to be a male journal, and I didn't really think I would do that. So that isn't an alternative if you're going to do a cloth or a paper cover on your journal. They're really great to protect your corners. But as I said, I'm going to use this cloth tape instead. And the reason being is I've actually, just from my own stash, had some grey gingham, and that's what I'm going to use. Now, the journal, because it's 6 inches wide and it's nearly 9 inches high, my normal A4 sheets of paper are not going to be enough to cover it. So that's why I'm going to do all the edging in this silver, and then I'm going to decorate it with that and then an image on top. hopefully you saw that as I was speeding through, that I've stuck all the tape around, and when I did it around the edges, I did punch the holes again so that they would go through this side, so that I know where the holes are on here. And then when I placed the tape back on this side, I came back to here and punched the holes again through so that I would see them on this side. Okay, so now they're ready for me to put the eyelets in, so I'll go do that off camera. I'm going to put those in. Now, the reason why I have got 4 sections is there are actually 7. Where are my signatures? Let's have a look. Okay, so we have 7 signatures, and I want them to be removable so that Josh is able to add more to his cookbook recipe book. So I'm going to put 2. So I'm going to make sure that when you choose your eyelet that you can actually thread through your elastic through twice. And this is hat elastic, so it's sort of tubular, not flat, and I've got black, and so I'm going to thread that through, and I'm going to have 2 signatures per eyelet. And that means that one of them is only going to have 1, and that's a good reason. That's going to be the main dishes, because I know with Joshua this will be the one that he will use the most, and he'll need to add more pages to. So I'm going to have 2 bits of elastic, and I'll probably make one that says one that's the main dishes, and then there might be an extra section that is just for slow cooker, because he's got one of those and he's starting to get into using a slow cooker, crock pot, I'm not sure what else you would call them, where you just, it's a one pot wonder and you put everything in the morning, and then, you know, he can have a meal ready for in about 6 or 8 hours. Okay, so that's the reasoning behind that. So I'm just going to put in the eyelets, and then I'll cut down my pieces of paper for the cover, etc. So I've just realized my holes aren't big enough, so I'm going over them with the crocodile to punch bigger holes, which is great because this it goes through really, really well. Okay, so I'm just doing that. So now what I want to do is thread through my elastic. So let's just have a look at the length. I'm just thinking, do I do it, tie each one, or do it twice and then just have one knot? Again, and then tie. Okay, we're going to try this where instead of tying 2 into the one hole, we're going to do one long piece. Maybe I should measure that. Let's just see. So if I go 18, 36, 36, about 39 inches. And then through again. Oops. So make sure they're not twisted. If that's coming up on that side and here. Okay, so we've got 1 and then this one, number 2. So one will have a knot in it, the other one won't. Hang on, let's make sure I do. Left over right, and then right over left. Make sure that's a secure knot. and that can actually just come down the bottom. Now I'm not going to cut that off yet because I want to make sure that I can tighten it, etc., and just make sure it's the right thing. So shall we try one? So one there, and then this is just to try them, and one there. Okay, so we've got the two that are sitting in there. That's actually pretty good. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to go and put the elastic in the other ones. So I've added on my paper on the front, on the inside. I still need to do the back cover. My printer's offline. We're off the internet while my husband's doing some scheduling stuff, but I can do that a bit later. But I've got that on the back, and then I've started just putting in all of my signatures into the elastic holders. Now I've done this dark in black and the greyish sort of colour because it is for my son, and so this is a neutral kit, so you can sort of play it down and do it more masculine, or the beauty of this kit is that you can pretty it up and you can add lots of beautiful, very pretty ephemera. I mean, I'm going to add all the ephemera, but pretty it up a little bit and use different colours. So I have used my own gingham printout here just because I wanted to keep it sort of more masculine, but any of these backing papers would be absolutely gorgeous on the inside or on the front. And if you wanted to lighten it up, definitely a white elastic would look really pretty on this as well. If it was going to be, you know, for a couple or for a female, that would be great. Now there's only just some ephemera that I wanted to show you. So this one here there's 4 on the sheet, and then I've just folded them over where it says to fold on that middle line, and then I folded it in half that way and just glued this bit here on the side there. So that's just going to keep those as a pocket, and so a tag can go in there and in there, and then these can just slip in there. Now if you're going to sew in a journal, you would sew them in with the center there. You would sew these in there, but these are done with elastic, and then this one is done exactly the same. So you fold on the line down the bottom, fold them in half, and then fold them in half again, and then I've just glued down the side here, and this tag goes, that little tag can go inside there, and if I print a second one, it can go on the other side, and then they just slip. Let's see, where will that one go? Here, that will slip back in there. Okay, so I'm just going to go off camera, look at all the ephemera and put where I need to, and then I'll come back with a final flip through. Hi, so I think it's ready to show you. So what I've done is added to the spine is just that's a piece of paper that's got some Maltese crosses on it, and that's because yeah, where my husband's family is Maltese, his father's side. So that's just a little nod to that. And then here on the front, this was just a digital that I had, and I thought this would be fun for Joshua. And I'm going to write a message on the back for him there. And here on the front, it just says, "Bless this home and all who enter the Kalea family." So that's the cover there. And then when we come into the inside cover, I've actually just stacked some pockets here, just one on top of the other using the backing papers. Now I didn't use flaps on either side of those, so they're fairly tight. So if you're going to do that, I would probably suggest to turn over the edges just to create a bit more space in there. So it is a bit tight, but each one in here has just a printout that I've done with some conversions and things for Joshua, just to help him with his cooking. So there's a couple of those that run along there, and this one I just put on the front and used the backing paper. This is the wood that was a freebie for an Easter cross, and so that printout I've just printed on the front and the back and then laminated that. And I thought this bookmark would be great for him not to lose his spot when he's in the middle of a recipe. So that one's there. Moving on to the first section, so there's 2 signatures per eyelet here, so there's those 2 bits of elastic. So the first one I've just added sauces and dips, And then I've just put some kitchen rules. I thought that was a bit funny for him to put there. And I'm just going to flip through these pages pretty quickly because you've seen them. You will notice here on any of the pages that look blank, I've actually just added the backing paper as a very simple side pocket. So that features throughout the journal. There'll be lots of those because I thought that's practical for Josh to just photocopy a recipe and tuck them in. I'm not sure how much he'll be writing out recipes, so I thought that would be great there. These ones I just layered up some of the note cardlets, and so I've just sort of staggered those, and then using the backing papers I've just sort of stuck them on the front. And so because this section is for sauces and dips, you know, they're just little cards that he can put quick little recipes in. Okay, so there's pages here and some tags, pocket. There we go, another side pocket there. And then moving over to appetizers and beverages. And so there's, you can see there's another side pocket there. And then I love this digital kit. So there's different ways of writing recipes. So, you know, a short one can be a short, you know, little bits of ingredients and directions. So a pocket with a note card in there, another side pocket. I'll just flick through these really quickly. So there you go. I haven't put one there. I might go back and do that. There we go, salsa, fantastic. And then this one, bread rolls, etc. So just the pocket there. I've just put bake the world a better place on that little notelet there. And then here, this is just using all the scrap bits that I had from the backing papers that I've just made them into little folios and things there. Cheese biscuits. There we go. And then there's the other one that says fresh baked on there. So they tuck in there. Another side pocket. And then the pocket here with just, I've made that one where it flips up. Okay, I'll just keep flipping through breakfast and brunch. So a side pocket there. This one, the whisk folds down. So I reprinted this page just so that could be a flip. And then here just made, you know, another little space for him to write something in. So that closes there. This one just flips out with some washi tape. And then another little journaling spot. So it's great to use up all the backing pieces scraps. I mean, I did print them a couple of times. And then a side pocket there. This one, hangry. That's funny. So that's there. This one I printed twice, cut off the top, and then that's a top tuck there. And then he's got writing space to write anything on the front where that flips. Side pocket. Now we're on to soups and vegetables, side dishes, etc. I just printed this one again. It's just sort of a hidden one. And then that page I folded up to create a little pocket and put a note card in there. It's sort of hidden in there. And then this one I printed the backing paper and made a large envelope. Cut this image out to make that stop, to hold that in, and then these are soups. So I've just printed them front and back. I've reduced the journal pages, reduced them down, and then just put them on some green card and put the pumpkin fussy cut there because I'll definitely give him a recipe for pumpkin soup. There we go. All right, that goes back in there. Taco soup. And then this one, a pocket with tags. I've just sort of added ribbon and eyelets on those just to add a bit of colour and fun into the journal there. This one was with basil, cilantro, dill and oregano. This tag I have just used. Now this paper here is from one of the textured paper kits on Carolyn's Etsy. This was sitting off on my desk, and so I just folded it into thirds to create that, and then just glued this on top and then cut around the shape of the tag just to do that as a flip. And then this one, this was just something I found on the internet, so I've created a belly band, and then here it's just got some vintage vegetables put together in a little fold out there, and then another side pocket in there. Okay, desserts, cookies and candies. So this one, I just backed that tag onto some of the yellow backing paper just to break up the red on red. So that one goes in there, just baked with love. And this one here, I have done these in 2 different ways. I've actually got a lemon biscuit recipe that I'll probably put an image of a lemon front or back on there, but I've done this in 2 ways. So this I've printed front and back, and then I've just cut out some paper so they can flip out and write that up and down. So that's that one. Just put an eyelet and ribbon in it, and then there's side tuck spots there. And then on this one, side pockets again. This one I've done it where I've cut out the front image and glued on this blue paper and then folded it a couple of times to create pages, just allowing that you have a spine here, and this, you don't cut this bit off because that's what holds it together. So instead of going up and down, it's on the side. So there are a couple of little options you can do to add a little tag or writing space within those. And then there's another side pocket there. Great chocolate chip cookies, that's a great recipe to have. And then we're into the back section. So with the last 2 bits of elastic, I've actually done 2 signatures for the main dishes. And here we go, another side pocket. And then what I've done is I've cut out the meat cuts for chicken, pork, lamb and beef, and so this first section is for chicken. I reduced the journal card down and then stuck them on the front and the back of some cards. So this section is for chicken, and then this section, there's a side pocket there. This one is lamb. Okay, and then a side pocket there. And then I haven't put anything, he can pop something he wants in there. This one is for pork, and so I did it on the top this time. So there's a top tuck there, a couple more pages. And then this one is for beef. And a couple more pages for that one, side pocket there. Is that them? Yes. There we go. And at the back, just a nod to our heritage. So both of our fathers, mine is from the Netherlands, and so I've just sort of created a little folio that he can put recipes in. That's sort of hidden in there. But yeah, there's a pocket on either side of that. And then this one, the Maltese side, the same thing. There's sort of like hidden pockets. Hopefully you can't see that too well, but there's a little pocket in there, front and back, so we can add more things in there for him as well. So there you go, that's all finished. Hopefully you enjoyed that or was inspired if you're looking at making a recipe journal. Love this kit, love that it's neutral and that it could be for couples, male, female, could really suit anybody. So hopefully that's great, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless. Bye.